All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show. Before we begin, I just want to say if you guys are just interested in getting a short synopsis of this, not watching the full video, check out the description below where I give you that, so you don't have to watch the full thing. Before we begin, please like the video to help get this economic evangelism out there, and please subscribe if you are new. Now, today we are talking about buying a home with gold and silver. Not necessarily how you do that, but we're going to be talking about stacking so you can prepare for buying a home. Now, why are we talking about gold and silver relative to a house? Because the ratios have varied favorably for gold if you've been stacking for a while, and silver as well. Now, this article is written by Jeff Clark, and he talks about pretty much at the end of bull markets for gold, we've seen the ratio be 100 ounces of gold for one home, the median price of a single family home, or 2,000 ounces of silver for one, again, median single family home price. Now, why is this important for me? Well, for some of you who I've spoken with in the comment sections in previous videos, I've told you that I'm looking to buy a home in the future and I want to do it in cash. And I want to do it, meaning I want to do it without having to take out a mortgage. Now, why is that? The primary reason is for cash flow. I want to solve for cash flow. And I also want to have protection. Now, that's not to say that when I buy homes in the future, I'm going to be doing that. But for right now, and possibly, who knows, I might continue that same cycle for real estate and for millennials in general. Now, I'm speaking to the millennials now. We need to solve for cash flow as far as retirement is concerned, because if you take a look at the median, or I should say the average 401k for most people in their mid 50s to about 65, it's roughly around 70,000, a little bit more than $70,000 in the average 401k. It's even worse for the median, because think about it, 401ks vary in how much money is in there. It could be very little, or it could be millions. Now, here's the median. The median amount that are in 401ks is roughly over $20,000 in a 401k. Now, keep in mind that the 401k program was created in the late 70s. So this experiment has been going on. The 401k experiment has been going on for a while. And we still have, in my opinion, underperformance for what the purpose of a 401k is, and that is to protect you during retirement, to give you a safe retirement. Now, for me, how I look at solving for this is for cash flow, and especially for millennials, because many of us are, we have degrees, but many of us don't have the opportunity to get into 401ks. And in my opinion, I don't really think you should get into 401ks. I do think that you should solve for cash flow. Now, you can do this in many ways. For me, I'm looking at real estate, and I want to get maybe 3-4 properties paid off by the time I'm retirement age, and have multiple sources of real estate income that I can live off of pretty much until I croak, so to speak. And something I can even pass down to my kids. So they don't have to necessarily worry about where their next meal is going to come from. They'll have real estate that they can rely on, just, constant flows of income. So I'll be teaching them that as they grow up, once I'm getting into this. Now, I want to buy a home in cash because I don't want to have to worry about a mortgage. Yes, it's going to take a longer period of time for me to buy that home, but once I do, the initial home, I don't have to worry about paying for a mortgage. Of course, I have to pay for property taxes, upkeep for the homes. But as far as that, that mortgage or that rent that I have no wiggle room around, I can't just say, oh, I'll take care of that like I would a repair, or I'll take care of that down the road. No, the bank wants that every single month, and they will not allow you to, skirt that responsibility. And if they do, they take your asset, they take your home. So for me, I've been fired before, um, uh, not due to performance, but due to budget cuts. Now, people can get fired for many reasons. And to me, I don't want to have that experience again while I'm living on my own. I had that experience while I was living with my parents. So I had some wiggle room, but I'm not going to have that wiggle room when I'm older, or right now when I'm living on my own. I have a safety net that I built of, some cash, but I want to be able to, if I ever get let go from a job, um, I don't have to worry about my living expense, which for most of us is probably the majority of our monthly expenditures. So I don't want to have to worry about that. So that's why I want to get a home in cash. And then if I get another home in cash, if I'm lucky enough, multiple homes in cash, then I have possibly 1,000, maybe a little bit more than $1,000 from different sources that are going to be supporting possibly my monthly expenditures in retirement. I don't spend that much money, honestly. So if I solve for myself, and my wife, as far as, uh, saving, or as far as not having to worry about living expenses, I'm sorry, rental and mortgage expenses. And the only thing I have to worry about then is my smaller expenses, which are just kind of miscellaneous here and there. Of course, there's food and things like that. Um, if I'm getting sources of income from, real estate that's already been paid off, I don't have to worry about taking a difference between the money that's coming in from rent subtracted by the expense of having to pay for a mortgage of that property, of that additional property. So that's just all. There's no net there. That's just all straight up cash, coming from different sources. So that's how I'm hoping to build my retirement. So this is why buying a home is important for me. So I apologize for that long soliloquy there. So here is the median single family home price. Uh, Adjusted for inflation, you'll have the orange line, and this is just the price over time. And as you can see, where we are in 2019 matches where we were in the 2008 crisis. So we have a problem to deal with, or I shouldn't say we have a problem to deal with. Those of us who are buying homes right now have a problem to deal with, because what you're going to find is that the value of your home is probably going to decrease. Now, again, if you're looking at, your home as being an asset only for appreciation and not thinking about how you can make it a cash flowing investment, you're going to have a problem in the future. Um, if you're not really worried about appreciation, you're not really worried about cash flow, you've already paid it off, then you're fine. It doesn't even matter what the price is. You just got rid of your living expense. Um, so for me, the price of gold has not hit its peak in this bull market. So we're going to see us hitting an inflection point in the median single home family price, and we're going to see this downward trajectory. At the same time, you're going to see an upward trajectory of the gold price. So then you're going to get this, which is the gold to housing ratio, the ounces of gold needed to purchase the average US house. Now, on average, you need a little bit less than 300 ounces of gold at a given time, on average. Um, but during the ends of gold bull markets, you will need roughly around 100 ounces of gold. Now, I don't have 100 ounces of gold right now, but what I see is that home prices over the next 4 or 5 years will go down as deflation causes it to, and we continue to have economic issues of people losing their jobs, which would, and then in effect, unfortunately, mean that they would have to lose their homes if they can't pay off the mortgage, which means the more and more people we have living in that situation, less growth, people just looking for jobs, we're going to have more of a supply of homes on the market, and we're going to have less people demanding them at those same prices. They may want to live in homes, but they won't be able to pay for it at those prices. And what do we see right now? JP Morgan basically is not giving out mortgages unless you have a credit score of 700 or up, and you can put down 20% on a home right now. So they've tightened up their restrictions for mortgages, and people are losing their jobs. Likely, they're also taking a hit to their credit score. So it's going to be harder for them to actually purchase these homes. So I foresee home prices coming down, and I continue to see bullish behavior for gold. So that's why I'm going to be continuing to stack gold and stacking silver and preparing for this event right here. Now, if it doesn't hit 100, that's fine. I'm going to have, position in cash as always, but I'm still going to be stacking gold and silver. It's going to be more eventful for me to do that as that price increases. So let me know what you guys are going to be doing if you're interested in buying a home in the next few years. Let me know in the comments section below. I also want to give a shout out to Omnipotent Being for helping me to come up with this topic. He sent me a list of topics to cover, and I based this one off of that list. If you guys are interested in sending me a list of topics to cover, let me know in the comments section below. Please give this video a like. Please subscribe if you're new. Thanks again for watching. It's Black Bullion.